Hey, my friends, Marty, we're here from Marty's Garden. Yep, we're live on YouTube. I'm coming from my kitchen today. We're not exactly ready to set up outside just yet, but we will possibly do some in the future. Now, some news for you. Marty's Garden is 13 years old. Now, I don't have any background music or anything like that, but we'll just give us a clap if you think that's pretty cool, and let me know in the comments box down below. I got the message from inside YouTube saying, yep, you turned 13. Congratulations. Well, it didn't say 13, it just said, it's your birthday today. So I went and checked it and like, oh, wow, it is. And it started off very humble beginnings because YouTube was very, very small in those days in regards to it is now. And yeah, there was webcams and, you had to use big handy cams and all that type of stuff. And it really wasn't nowhere near as easy as it is now these days. But anyway, yep, 13 years old. I'm amazed. I really, really am. But anyway, let's get into it. We're going to have a Q&A, worm farming Q&A today, and we'll just wait for a few crew to turn up. But what I want to do is answer one question that I read this morning about someone just wanting to get started with worm farming, about they're going into fall and then obviously into winter, and do they want to have start a worm farm, or should they wait until spring? And my answer was, if it gets very cold at your place and you wouldn't be comfortable outside in that area, then I would wait until it starts warming up and look at ways of managing your worm farm sort of down the line. I might put some of that stuff in the Worm Wranglers members area, because there are ways to manage large scale worm farms in different systems, and I think there'd be something that we could add into the Worm Wranglers courses along the line that fits in with other systems that I've created for acceleration organics. Now, as I said, we'll have some Q&A coming on not too far off, and if you're in the comments box, say hello. I can read it here. I'm on, we go this way, I can read it on my side here, and I can drag these comments and questions in. It should all work well. I haven't done one for a while, so I'm probably a little rusty, but I just want to talk about a couple of things before we start dragging them in. And one thing I'm been experiencing with my larger systems is the night crawlers. Now, you've got the Europeans, which are good for the cold, and then you've got the Africans, which are really good for sort of like subtropical, tropical systems. And I'm finding that, again, my second time of growing really big systems, they are growing huge and traveling much further than I ever expected, and breeding like nothing else. So yeah, really excited about that. I'm going to drag our first comment in now. This is by William Fitzgerald, and it says, I live in Moree, and your worm courses have kept my worms alive, and your lessons have helped me grow my worms. Well, thank you very much, William. That's I really appreciate the comment there, and thanks for coming to watch the live show. And if you've got any other questions, feel free to fire away. We'll have a few more people turn up. It's just going to be a quicker live show today. I'm going to go and pick up some extra gear. They got the new GoPro Hero 12 out. It's got a super wide angle lens on it. We've pick up another lapel microphone that's can connect to the different ones, because I've just been using the microphones on top of the camera, so we can improve on the show a bit and get nice big wide shots of the garden and not miss some of the audio. So the audio will be more clear and more precise and more professional audio. So yeah, Shirley and I are on our way to do that straight after this. Now, something else I wanted to talk about was worm castings, and when you're harvesting your worms, how much do you mix into your compost or your potting mixes and things like that? And what I'm finding still is around about 10% does the best. When you're doing your seedlings, it's a good idea to put a little bit around the outside of seedlings when you're planting, when you're transplanting, but also when you're just raising seedlings, such as I mentioned in the courses that I have. You can actually just use around about 10% as well. And what I'll do here is I'll just put this link up here That'll be in the chat box for anyone that would like to get. You can access those courses. The Worm Wrangler 1 is really just for people that want to just support the channel. Worm Wrangler 2, you have the seed raising course in there and a couple of worm farming videos. But Worm Wrangler 3, that's the one. It's got everything, and that's where I'll be adding all the new content coming into the near future for the acceleration organics course and the worm farming stuff, which sort of matches all in together because it's all integrated, right? And so, yeah, 10% worm cast. I'm still finding that works really good. And if you're going over, I believe personally, in my opinion, and what the soil science is saying as well, that you're possibly wasting those extra castings, and you don't really need to grow straight in castings, even though it won't kill anything or it won't burn roots or anything like that. Yeah, that's from my personal opinion and just trials over years and years. Now, this is another one that I'm thinking about making a video on, but it's a question that I want to answer here now for you guys that are coming in live, because I feel this is pretty important. And the question is, do we need more than just castings and compost to grow plants? Well, firstly, if we're doing it in soil, we need a good structured soil. And I'll be teaching this more in the Acceleration Organics program about building soils and things. I'm finding that the real high-end people want to watch this stuff. The people who want to be entertained don't find it so entertaining. But if you're into gardening, it's the bomb stuff, and it's how I've been developing my system for the last 7 years now. I've been going into this. It's taken years and years, but it's the last 7 years I've started really developing that system to take overseas and use around Australia and things like that. So compost and castings, you do need a good soil structure. In theory, you only need compost and castings, but you may need at some stage to add some type of fish meal, some blood and bone, things like that, with some phosphates in there to help with flowering. Generally most of it has it just depends on what you're feeding in your compost, how much you're using. The more wider array of things that you're putting in your compost, generally you don't need to add any amendments at all. And if you're doing that, you're obviously feeding your compost worms a lot of different things as well, and they're chewing through the stuff, picking up all the different minerals, and also getting all that new biology. So they're spreading all different types of microbes through the soil as well, and helping that fungi sort of create. So yeah, in theory, you don't have to. It just depends. If you're using a wide array of stuff, then you can get away with it. And just think about it, before fertilizers, what were people doing? They were just using everything they had on site, and obviously getting the very good results, because we're still here today, and people have been farming for a very, very long time. And we'll just say hello to Glennie's Garden here. Good morning, brother. G'day. Thank you for coming, and thank you for all your support so far with the show. So we've got a handful of people here watching. A little bit more of a handful of people here watching the show. And if you're coming in on the reruns, you might find that some of the questions here will be relevant to you. I just sporadically put this show on today because I was going to film, and I thought, no, we've got to get this stuff done. Shirley and I, we're going to pick up some new gear to help advance the show. 13th birthday here at Marty's Garden, so I thought, why not get some birthday presents for the show? And this is a part of it runs into my business and things like that. So all good. And thank you everyone that's been coming to buy compost. I really appreciate the support. It's been amazing, and you've really helped us through a bit of a tight knit without letting any personal things know too much. But yeah, it's been unreal. So people have stuck with the Worm Wranglers program and in there, and also in the Buy Me a Coffee page where there's some members there. Thank you again also for that. You really have helped us through a tight knit, and we want to keep going. So there is a link in the Worm Wranglers members area. I'll put one down below later on. There is one in the description, and also I'll put one in the comments box down below as well. So I'm just checking on my notes here. to make sure I've got everything really good. I think the next thing I'd like to ask is, what would you like to see in updates? You've been following the show, following what I'm doing, and sometimes I forget to update things. And, you know, if I get some people that are interested in the same updates and some similar things, such as, you know, it's connected, where we're connecting everything up, some of the above ground worm farms above the ground and the composting systems, things like that. If you'd like to see anything like that, let me know in the comments box or in the chat if you're here now, and would love to hear it. And so we can fire away from our into our first few questions. We've only had about 9 or 10 people arrive. As I said, it's sporadic. I haven't been doing them much, so people don't know that they're online, but happy to help with any worm farming questions. And if you've got any organic gardening questions, you know, we can answer them too as we go along. So as I said before, if you're coming in later, Marty's Garden, 13th birthday today, and it's exciting to be here. You know, I really didn't know a few years ago if I still would be. Quite a few times over the last maybe 4 or 5 years wondering, would Marty's Garden on YouTube still exist? And yeah, it does. And we've also set up Marty's Cleaning for Shirley to get some work around locally. And because I had Premier Cleaning before I got sick before, and that was quite popular, and we did a lot of holistic, organic, you know, no chemical sprays and things like that. So yeah, that's it. So let's keep rolling here. If you've got any worm farming questions, yeah, I'd love to hear from you. We've got a question here, William Fitzgerald. Marty, if I want to send some photos of my garden to show you what I've learned from your YouTube videos. Yeah, that's a bit of a tricky one. We do have in the Facebook area, I set up a Worm Wranglers members area, which is run by Matt. And you can actually put them in there and I will get notified. If you look, it's difficult because we don't have anything inside the members area inside YouTube. I don't know why they've never done that. Maybe it's the technology's too hard. They don't want to take that on. But, you know, it would have been unreal if we had forums inside our members area. YouTube, if you're watching this, this is something that would be really needed. And it would be absolutely brilliant. But that's the only way at the moment is via, because my emails just get too inundated and I miss things even from my family and stuff like that. So yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. You've got the Worm Wranglers members area in Facebook, and you can send the photos through there. And there's a few members in there that do that. You know, it's a very small group. We haven't really pushed it too much, but it's basically for that reason I created it. So yeah, hopefully that helps, William. Sorry if you're not in Facebook. I can't think of any other ways other than getting someone on a live show, and then we pull up your photos and have a look at them if you know how to use StreamYard. All right, now we'll keep on rolling, and I'll just have a little drink of water here. A few more people rolling up, so excuse the table if it's rocking a bit. The thing's rocking a bit. We're on a sort of a wonky table. I'd like to get outside. Apparently with this new the GoPro system that I've got now, I can connect it to my phone, and then we get a nice big wide shot, and we can run it, or I can get this laptop outside through the cord and maybe do some live shows outside, which would be really fun to do in the near future as the days are warming up. We may get out there and do it. It's never been a real popular thing on my channel, but people like to connect, and I really like connecting with you guys as well, and just saying hello. So yeah, g'day. If you come in late, 13th birthday for Marty's Garden today, and yeah, it's exciting times. All right, Michael Wandle, g'day Marty, g'day mate, and we've got so Rick just said, what's on today for you, Marty? Well, we're going, as I said, the 13th birthday today, and we're going to go pick up the new. We've got the GoPro Hero 10, but I've never used it to shoot this show. But I'm buying a vlogging system, the Creators Edition, which is coming in the next 4 or 5 days. I'm going to pick up some lapel microphones today, and they just connect up onto here, and there's two of them, so Shirley can connect up at the same time, and we can be a long way away, and you won't have to be near the camera to pick up the audio. So yeah, really stoked about that. We should be able to really step up the productions. Everyone else is doing it. I'm just being way behind the game. Sorry. So, but yeah, we're going to do that. All right, there we go. William Fitzgerald, do you have any ideas on stopping snails living in your worm farms? Now, that's a tricky one, because one of the things about pests is that when your worm farm's quite moist, like cockroaches and ants, they bail. They don't like it. Now, snails are a bit different. They don't mind the moisture, and they actually don't mind the plastic, and they start breeding in there. Like I've had little tiny snails in there. So I think they more so eat on the greens and things like that. So generally, like I always say in my courses, my course, Worm Wranglers members course, we talk really deep about pest management. It's just backing off on the greens food and just feed more carbon and manures. So, and they don't feed on that stuff. So they will die out or leave because they need the food. Okay, Rick Thalane. Hopefully I've got that pronunciation for your surname right, Rick. But thank you so much for all your support and watching all my videos, man. You're always commenting and just, bless you, brother, for that. I really appreciate it. Happy 13th birthday for Marty's Garden. Thank you so much. Like I said, it's a real honor to be here and still be going, actually. So I said, I never thought, quite a few times, I never thought it would be. But yeah, we've got 10 thumbs up. So yeah, that's the game we play here. So if you're on here and we've got 12 people watching at the moment, we like to get above 12 thumbs up over time. So if you can give us a thumbs up, that'll be awesome. And that's just, yeah, the fun game that we play during these live shows. Now, I've been talking with Mike Van Doozy for Keep On Growing, and looks like we might be doing another live show together in about a week's time. He's been really busy with his show and producing some great content on all different ways of growing food and growing it cheaply too, which I really like it. You know, I don't do the hydroponic stuff, but he's doing some in the ground as well now. And so, yeah, we'll be back on with Mike probably in a week or so if all goes well. Now, have anyone got any worm farming or gardening questions? I'm sure you must have something that you want to look. No question is regarded as silly or anything like that. You know, I come in sort of late, well, not late, but at an odd time for Australia. It's very early, you know, it's only like 7:30. Not too sure on the times overseas over there. Let me know what time it is at your place. But because we want to leave early and get to where we need to go and avoid traffic and stuff like that, I thought, yeah, good time to get out early. And another thing looking at doing is maybe, you know, like, and it's just a consideration, is running a live show for members that will just, you know, maybe go for about half an hour. The hard bit is because we've got everyone around the globe, what time, but, you know, it's something maybe members can write in or something like that, and we answer the questions. I've got to figure it out and fit it into the schedule if it's really wanted. But I'm going to be doing a lot of quick worm farming videos, and then working on the acceleration organics, which is the new course going into the members area, and then workshops here if I get some people that are interested. Anyway, so let's go to our next question here. Michael Wandell, I got my first worm farm about a year ago with 1,000 worms. I found your channel and used your advice. I now have 2 worms and haven't needed 2 worm farms. I think it's 2 worms. I just about freak out there. I thought, oh no, disaster. But I now have 2 worm farms and haven't needed to buy any more worms. Those buggers breed like crazy. They sure do, mate. They sure do. And congratulations to you. You know, that's a great way to produce a lot of castings. And yeah, you might want to turn one into a Taj Mahal, like I've got in the Taj Mahal videos, where you make them a bit higher and you build up a bigger system for more liquids. and have one just as a normal farm, normal breeding box. That could be a consideration. You may be doing that already. You don't have to, but it's just something that when you've got 2 farms, it's a good way to scale up a bit. And here we go. Hey, gee, Alison. Good on you, Alison. Nice to see you here. Thanks for coming and dropping in and watching the show. Thank you. Yeah, it's good to be back. Shirley will come on some of the live shows and fish. She likes reading out the comments. She doesn't like so much presenting and being asked questions on site, but she loves reading out the comments. So yeah, we'll get her back in some live shows in the near future if she's not too busy. She's got some work coming up, actually. Let's get the next question up. Gazelle Zerps. Now, if I get any of these names wrong, please forgive me. Just do the best I can here. I'm having trouble with my passion fruit plant not growing. I bought it from Bunnings a few months ago, and it seems to be stunted. Any tips? Okay, yeah, so depending on what part of the country you're in, it's still a bit cold for passion fruit. Like, you need to be sort of like Brisbane onwards up to really get the heat into it. It is a subtropical to tropical plant. It grows in temperate areas more as a, still a perennial, but it was in cooler areas, it'll back right off. It really dislikes cold soils and cold temperatures. But if you've got a nice warm spot for it, then it will take off. But really the trick is with that is just like compost. It just needs to be fed and build a nice big root system and mulch. So they need a lot of water and a lot of sunlight. And, in the warmer areas, like I've got one growing in my backyard and it's just climbing up a tree at the moment. And I've been feeding it compost and mulching it. And I'm going to wait till it hits the top of the tree. So it's in a guava tree and it'll spread over the top of the guava tree and produce a lot of fruit, and we'll be able to just grab it up above. And we're running one up on our fence as well, which it's in a cold spot and it's not growing at all. It's stunted. But as soon as that soil gets warm, the sun hits it, it'll start taking off. So if you've got it in a pot, I recommend getting it into the ground. One tip that's really good with passion fruit, if you're in a warm area, is plant the passion fruit in a shaded spot and let it climb into the sunlight, because that way, if the mother plant at the bottom is in a shaded spot where it's mulched and fertilized, it's going to hold more moisture and not dry out as quick, and let the plant reach the sunlight. Hopefully that helps, Giselle, and good luck with that. If I'm in another live show and still struggling, yeah, feel free to ask. All right, Chanel, I've had 2 different veggies in 2 different raised garden beds that seem to have just rotted and separated from the root, but all the other plants are okay. Any idea and why? 2 different veggies in 2 different raised garden beds that have just rotted. It could be nematodes. There's a type of nematode that's in the soil that attacks root plants. Other than that, it could be that that plant doesn't like the amount of moisture and likes a drier earth. So there could be those 2 things without having a really good look at it. So yeah, that could be the answer. Now, marigold, African marigolds, you plant those to keep away nematodes and just work on improving your soil structure, and that way there's the nematodes and things will balance out. But yeah, maybe if you can let me know what type of plants they are, that might help a little bit more as well. So here we go to the next one. Some great questions coming in, guys. Awesome. This really helps people that are watching the live shows and watching the reruns learn a lot, because sometimes you can learn more out of these than my videos, I believe. Okay. My mate used sheep poo in his, and they thrived. Yeah, sheep manure is really good stuff. And just like any manures, you need to sort of age it a bit, get some of that heat out of it, and break it down. If you can break it down with a bit of carbon, even better, and mix it through. But yeah, awesome stuff. If I had access to it, I would give it a go for sure. I just don't know about the weed seeds and things in it because I've never used it. But I hear it's good. Rick Thorlane, Glennie's gardening, you mean sheep manure? Yeah. I think we are allowed to say that word here on YouTube, but I don't think it's too nasty. But yeah, I like to keep the swearing down. Anyway, yeah, it's a good one, guys. My favorite still is chicken manure. If you compost it with compost worms, still my favorite manure, but it's the hardest one to work with, the easiest. And what I use in my compost here and breeds a lot of good microbes is cow manure. Okay, so we have someone's kicking off in the shower. I don't know if that's coming through in the sound. Hopefully not too much. And there we go. Okay, how about sheep manure in a worm farm? I'm just going to move this because it's going to be noisy. So we're just going to move down to the other room, and I'll just unplug the power, and we'll move on because someone's just jumped into the shower for a minute, but surely because we're going to head off and go soon, and so we will keep rolling for about another 15 minutes or so, and I will put this down on the table because the shower head runs right behind where we are there, and we'll just close this door behind us, keeping the sound out as well. Once I get the lapel mic, man, it's going to be awesome because you just cut out all these background sounds from the microphones that I've been using. Anyway, yeah, little tour around the house, and boom, we are back down. The great thing about laptops, right? Before I was using a desktop, we wouldn't have been able to do that. And we'll keep rolling. I'm going to be looking down at the camera, so excuse that. But how about sheep manure in a worm farm? Yeah, so good stuff, I'd say. But again, I would compost it and age it and go from there. All manures into worm farms really need to be composted down a little bit, in my opinion. You can throw little bits of fresh stuff in, but generally they don't touch it till later, till it starts aging a bit anyway, because the bacteria needs to get in it. Let's keep rolling. Thanks, Marty. I'll get mulching. We're in Sydney and the weather is getting hot now, so hopefully that too. Yeah, I've heard there's some heat coming. So yeah, I'd say more than likely real soon you watch everything like that needs that warmth will start taking off. Just speaking to my mum yesterday about it. She said it's really warming up down there in Sydney. And I'm in Mullumbimby, just near Byron Bay on the New South Wales east coast, right on the Queensland New South Wales border. And yeah, we get pretty good temperatures year round because I'm right near the beach, no frost and stuff. So yeah, anyway, that was the worm farm I showed you when we did a live show when I was in Julia Creek. Okay, sometimes I just can't remember everything. I'd have to see it again. So much going on in my mind. Forgive me for that. Glennie's gardening in here we go. Have you been bagging more cow manure, Marty? We've been bagging lots of compost. We're having a bit of a break at the moment. We're working mostly on getting the cash together for Shirley's visa now, because she's now allowed to officially work in Australia. We've been married for a bit over 7 weeks now, I think. And yeah, so we've been working like crazy. I just said to her, I said, I'm having a break this week. I wanted to shoot some more videos, talk to you guys, and start getting some content out, start working on the organics acceleration system that I've been building up for years and years, and deciding how I'm going to launch that out over time and start teaching people. Yeah, so here we go. Any tips on growing chocos? I have a green thumb but haven't managed to keep one alive when growing from fruit. Yeah, you need to really, again, it's similar to the passion fruit that we talked about before. And, if you're having trouble getting it flowering, probably the quickest way would be some liquid potash. But, compost and worm castings, I would say, would be the way to go for that. And really, they need at least sort of 6 hours sun and a good support system. And yeah, you should get plenty of chocos. I've got a vine just starting now, about to go onto the fence. And yeah, so I haven't grown them since I was a little kid. Well, my neighbour used to grow them actually, and we've had them in a few places that I've been, but they've just been there before. So we'll let you know. If people want to see the choco growing and how we're doing it, then yeah, we'll create some content on that coming up into the future. Now, I'm sure people must have some more questions here. We'll just keep talking and saying, and people that have come in later. My name's Marty Ware. I'm an horticulturist, organics horticulturist, and been developing a type of organic farming and a gardening for many years now. And it involves worm farming, composting, all the imports coming in here, and building soils using natural systems, and using fungi and microbes and worms and different things, and the animals and wildlife all around to create these balanced garden systems. And it's a mixture of permaculture, biodynamics, and organics. And yeah, that's what I do. And we're on our 13th birthday now, and yeah, just excited to be here and to share this day with you before Shirley and I head on our way to pick up some prezzies for the show, to really pick things up just a little bit. All right, so let's keep rolling there. Nice. That's nice, Marty. Paperwork isn't fun. Hope it's not too difficult. Yeah, I know. It has been. We actually got an agent, mate, to help us because it is quite difficult, and we just didn't want to make any mistakes. I know we could do it on our own, but Shirley's on a bridging visa at the moment. We're not still fully the way there yet, but we're getting there, and I know God's on our side, so I'm pretty, feeling very confident. Anyway, thanks everyone that supported us so far to keep us alive and to make this happen. We really love you guys. Okay, the fourth Wiseman. I find using worm castings to all my veggies is best, so it gets root structure before plants grow too tall, where the roots can't support plants efficiently. It's really what it's all about, is getting these worm castings around the root systems when they're young. Look, I haven't done it all the time because I have big systems. I don't always have it available already for when I'm working, but yeah, it's, as long as you've got a good compost around those root systems, it really helps. But the thing is about worm castings is it's just it's extra special, and it does have more beneficial microbes, and those microbes will protect seedlings from things like the nematodes that I was talking about before that attack roots and stuff. So I do talk about that a lot more in the Worm Wranglers members area, and we cover that much more deeply in the seed raising section, the level 2 of the Worm Wranglers. But yeah, definitely, it's again, I still say it's the best, in my opinion, the best fertilizer on the planet. And that when they were searching and going out in the 1700s and getting the bird guano, they're fighting wars over it and stuff. It was right in front of them. They had the compost worms there. They didn't, they had all the amendments and everything to make as much as they need, and they were off fighting battles and killing people on boats to get the bird stuff to keep farming. So it's interesting. It's definitely the best, in my opinion, still, and been doing this for quite a while, as probably you have. I like the fourth Wiseman. I like to think of a plant like a building, good foundation to hold up good structure. Very much so. Good structure in the soil is the most important thing, in my opinion, as well as the soil life. So structure and soil life is everything, and feeding that soil, not the plant, and you get optimum growth. And that's part of my system there for the acceleration organics system that I've been building for quite some time and creating to get together. All right, so we're going to fire away. We've got 5 more minutes, guys, and then I'm going to head off, and we are going to pick up some little prezzies for Marty's Garden's 13th birthday. And so we can improve the videos on the show here. We'll keep on making compost for the locals here, and we're breeding up as many worms as we can in the time schedule that I have. We've got some pretty good numbers now. If you saw in the last, I put a Worm Wranglers video in just the other day, open the farm up, and it's just explosive numbers, just fantastic, and super stoked. And I think we can look at scaling out a bit more. We've got them nearly through all our garden beds now, and so we're so close to hit. We're basically right on the acceleration point where things are about to just boom, explode right now with the sunshine coming in. We've improved the soils a lot, and we have the underground worm farms set up all around the place, above ground ones, and getting a lot of earthworms moving in now, and a lot of native fungi and stuff. It's just really exciting. Okay, heat wave conditions in Sydney. Yeah, I heard that from my mum yesterday, and parts of the East Coast this weekend. Keep gardening and worms moist. Yeah, so get the water in at night, beforehand. Nice deep water this time. Cover with mulch. Deep water is very important, so the roots go down, follow that water down, and build deep root systems, so they can survive these heat waves. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Rick, for sharing that. That's really helpful. Alison Gilbert, party time. Happy 13th birthday, Marty's garden. Yo, I don't know whether I should have made a video about it. It was just, I looked in my analytics this morning, it's gone, happy birthday. And I've gone, checked at the date and gone, 2010 we started. So yeah, it's just amazing. But anyway, listen, if you've come in a bit later, go through and watch the rerun again. You'll pick up on some of the really cool questions and answers here, and learn some good tips. Whether we keep this one live, you can also leave any questions in the comments box down below. I will get them. Whether we keep this video up, we'll put it into Worm Wranglers members area. Depends on how well it performs and what we decide to do into that system. But thank you everyone for coming, and I truly appreciate you all. It's been great just coming on for about 45 minutes, 40 minutes or something like that. We've come in here and said hello to everyone. Thank you for turning up and just being a part of the show and watching all the videos that we put out. Like, the longer you watch the videos, the better Marty's Garden performs. So, people's attention span is getting getting shorter all the time. But we've also got some vertical systems we can shoot with this new camera that we're getting, and we'll keep going and just keep doing what we're doing and enjoying life. Look, as I always say in the videos, have a great day. God bless. Happy everything. Stay excited. Keep humble, and we'll see you at the next video, live show, or probably it'll be a video. I'd say, I don't know when the next live show is coming out, but keep an eye out. I'll keep things in posts, and I'll let you know. Have a great day. Bye for now. Oh, just before we go, I always forget this because I used to run it out on the other thing. If you want, just say goodbye, and we will. Yeah, I'll just say goodbye to you. I can't answer any more questions now, but we will run another live show soon. If you've got a question that hasn't been answered, leave it in the comments box, and I will get back to it. And also, you can find anything that you want to learn about in the Worm Wranglers members area number 3. It covers everything. There's more content going in there. You will never go wrong once you're in there, and you will save yourself a ton of money. All right, so let's keep rolling, and we'll just say goodbye, and I'll just roll these out here, and thank you so much, and then I will say goodbye. All right, ciao for now.